everybody, Gaina Davila here. I'm the co-founder of Davila Kafe Coffee Company. I'm here with my very good friend, Sebastien Salomon, who is a former White House executive chef. We are so excited to hang out with him today. But before we start anything, Sebastien, you want to say what's up?
What's going on, guys? Sebastien here. We've known each other for over 10, 15 years.
Over 15 years.
So we literally watched each other grow up, and when I moved to the area, that was one person I wanted to connect with. So
woo!
Let's do it.
And it happened. So let's get some cafe rolling, and then we'll dive into some of the wonderful, wonderful aspects of Haitian cuisine. All right, guys, so today we are going to be making our delicious Xavi espresso. If you've been following Davila Cafe for some time now, you know that we named this delicious espresso after our first son. And so we love it. It's right out of Haiti. And everything about this espresso gets me excited because it's the richness, the depth of the flavors, everything. It's excellent. Par excellence, on peut dire même. So I'm excited to make this for y'all. Are you down?
I'm ready. I'm ready to taste it.
Starting off, take it off. You want to have a scooper. If you don't, that's fine. You can use a spoon. You just want to get enough beans into the basket. So you take this out, fill it up with your beans, a little bit more. Sometimes things are just a lot easier than we make them, but there's nothing like a homemade espresso, the old school way. This is how my grandmother makes her coffee, so there's something really special about that.
That's right.
Right. Do you remember seeing your mom make coffee like this, or anybody in your family?
It's very traditional Haitian.
Yeah.
Still this day, that's how we make coffee.
So it's good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and grind this. All right. Got that right here. And we turn on our grinder and the magic's happening. My grandma would always make her coffee like this. She loved it. And then she'd make it after dinner. So we all would, or after lunch, we always sit together and have some cafe. How has your family?
When growing up, you know, that's how I saw our people make coffee.
Oh,
that's how they were grinding.
With the pilon.
They have a big one. And then this one is about this size.
Yeah.
So about two people, one is going like this.
Boom.
When he goes down, the other one comes up. So that's how we used to grind coffee back in the day. So
that's real. That's actually the old school, the real old school way.
That's the real old school way.
When I went to Haiti in 2017, I went with David, and I actually did that. That's the way that we prepared the coffee. All right, now we've got our coarsely ground beans. Just go ahead and put them right in here. Get your beans in. This espresso is going to carry us over as we prepare this feast today. It's a bit, so even to hear it, what exactly is it that we're going to cook today, Sebas?
We're going to make my favorite dish, seafood paella, and some Creole spiced lamb. I know in Haiti, Haitians are very particular about eating lamb. You know, they eat goat, but this is the closest thing to lamb, so we're gonna try to make it as close as possible to goats.
So c'est cabrit, right?
Cabrit,
in Creole, in Haitian Creole, they would say cabrit. Now, I've got my basket. I've got to get some water. You know, I say all the time, mom brain's happening. Fair enough. We named this espresso after our son. Makes sense. Now I've got mom brain happening. All right, y'all.
You're doing a good job.
You are so encouraging, friend. See, having encouraging friends, that's what leads to 15 years of friendship or more. All right. Here we go. Drop the basket right in here. Thank you. Merci en pile. All right. So we've got that here. And then you just go ahead and you're going to obviously cover this. Not kidding. I say obviously, but guys, sometimes I forget. I'm just like, oh, what am I supposed to do next? All right.
Great.
We're good? All right, so let's just put this on top of here. and we'll open up the lid to make sure that we actually see how the espresso is being brewed. It's gonna be really good, guys. Okay, so we've got our espresso gearing up, and we're gonna get into the next best part of what's happening today, which is...
So the seafood paella, it's the most common, one of the most common dishes in Spain.
Yeah.
Originated in Valencia, Spain.
Valencia.
So it has every culture in the world has their version of a paella.
Right.
I made this because I fell in love with it when I was a little boy. My mom made it for me, and I fell in love with it. And it's actually, we're gonna do it the traditional Haitian way, but it actually makes sense because the Spanish, they colonized Haiti for a period of time.
Right.
So it actually makes perfect sense.
That there's a coming together, an interesting turn, I guess, of a collision with history and present day, culinary art.
That's right.
All right, so let's get to this.
So you want to start out with your oil in the pan. You want to use a paella pan. So this is typically the pans that they use to cook the dish in. So you want to start with some oil, and I have some.
And I see that your oil is infused with herbs. I love herbs, guys.
So I have some thyme. I made this myself. Some thyme oil.
All right. So, you won't give us the secret recipe.
I mean, it's easy. Just add some thyme to a pan with olive oil, and then cool the oil and put it in the pan, and there you go. You got thyme oil.
Beautiful. This looks beautiful.
So you want to get your pan.
All right.
Going. And then next you go with you add some rice to the pan.
Nice. Wow, it looks really...
To the pan.
I didn't even realize you could just throw the rice in without water or anything.
So you do some salt and pepper.
I kind of want to help.
Go ahead.
Can I do a little bit of the... Can you pass me the salt? Guys, this is like a dream come true for me.
So
they're like, look at this novice. Okay, so this is very coarse sea salt.
Yes.
And black pepper. So
typically, what is used in Haiti? The coarse salt.
Look at that. Delicious. All right, I'm gonna put that right there.
So your rice is cooking.
Can I help?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna jump into the mix. This is really cool.
And I'm gonna add just a little bit more oil.
Okay.
Because you want the rice to be within the rice frying in the pan. You want it to be almost cooked when you add your broth and your seafood.
Nice.
So the rice could be. It won't take a long time for the rice to cook.
I had no idea that we could even do it this way without water first. I don't know if it's just me.
You could do it the other way. You boil the rice. Then add the seafood to it.
Yeah.
But this is the traditional way of doing it.
Amazing.
So.
Amazing.
So you let your rice cook.
So cool.
As you can see, some of the rice starting to turn a little bit white.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my goodness. All right.
So
tell me more. So when you think of making these kind of dishes, what kind of experiences do you want to create for the people who are going to taste it?
My goal is, because I love Haiti, obviously. My goal. Yeah, that's right. My goal is to really get people to see Haiti in a different light.
That's good.
Because a lot of times people think that Haitian food is just black rice or fried pork or plantain. Our food, we have so many different cultures into our food people don't know about.
Right.
So that's my goal.
Do you see this more as a fusion, or do you see it as being representative of Haitian cuisine?
I think because I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic to it.
Awesome. We love garlic.
I love garlic as well.
Woo.
So you add some garlic.
It's like
I think this dish, the cooking technique is Spanish, but I think this dish, the heart of it is Haitian, because everything that you're using, you can't find in Haiti. You can find the blue crabs in Haiti. You can find the langoustines in Haiti.
That's great. So Sebastian's referring to what we'll be adding to our dish here in just a bit. I like that idea, right? Because food is local. Yep. And food speaks to culture. Obviously, that's something that we're really passionate about at Davila Kafe and in our home. Oh, and what do we have here?
Lima beans.
Lima beans.
Which is typical, when we cook, when Haitians cook, when we cook this dish, we always do lima beans.
Okay. It's
You
beautiful.
also want the lima beans to cook.
Beautiful. And so, as I was saying, you know, all food is local. When you think about gastronomy, when you think about what people eat in any culture, what you're really seeing is a part of their history come alive.
That's right.
And I love that you were speaking to the fact that the products that you're using, all of them can be found in Haiti. You know, you're not going to have to import anything to actually make this dish. And I really love that.
You don't have to go to Spain to make this dish. You could literally make this dish in your house if you're in Haiti.
Incredible.
So
I love
as
that.
you can see, some of the rice started to cook now. I want to start adding some paprika. So the paprika. So paprika, you know, the Spanish uses it a lot.
Yeah.
Just to give it, you know, if you have this dish in Spain, it's a bright yellow because they use a saffron.
Right.
So we're not gonna use saffron. We're gonna use the paprika because we're gonna add the broth from the jonjon, which is the black mushrooms.
Right.
Yep.
And so there's a rice in Haiti called Diri Jonjon. C'est Diri ak Jonjon, pas vrai? All right. I want to make sure that none of my Haitian family members kill me for mispronouncing that.
And then we have some jonjon right here.
So that's Jonjon.
Yeah, jonjon is.
Okay.
Jonjon is. Oh, your coffee's coming up.
And woo, thank you. Look at that. All right, man. So what I'm gonna actually do right now is pour our master chef here some coffee, a little bit of café, and then I'm gonna go back to the pronunciation of Juyak Jonjon.
You got it. You got it.
I got it. Thank you. I
got it.
thought I did, but I just want to make sure. You know, no hubris in this house. All right. So let's put that here, and I will also, you know, my mom, she's like amazing hostess. She always serves the guest first. And so obviously the cup that I poured first will be for Sebas. So do you usually get to drink espresso and cook at the same time? Is that a...
This is a first.
Ooh.
This is a first.
All right, let's cheers. Yeah. Cheers. Salud.
I'm gonna. Hopefully, my wife could deal with me after having a cup of this.
All right.
That's really good.
That's good. So when you drink this coffee, you're tasting what? Like what kind of flavors? What kind of notes are you picking up?
Like a sweet cocoa.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So we've got our coffee set. We're good to go. I'm happy that you're getting to cook and drink coffee at the same time. That's awesome. A bit of a treat for you. And for me, because
really
this
good.
is a treat for me. Guys, this smells delicious.
So
like, amazing.
So now that the rice is almost cooked, so you want to add some white wine.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I feel so spoiled. This is incredible.
This is a seafood paella. We got some lobster base.
Oh, so how do you make that?
The lobster base, if you I usually buy it in stores, but you can make it by you can make the broth. If you take lobster shells, I use lobster shell, and you can make a broth with it. But this one I like to buy it because it has a more of an intense flavor.
Oh my gosh, this smells so good.
So now that you got,
I'm like, wait, I want coffee and I want amazing food. Both. Oh my goodness. So this is a lobster base?
Lobster base, yeah.
Okay, amazing. And you can make it at home?
You can make it at home. Or if you don't make that version, you can make the broth, which is just lobster shells. Or you can just do all kinds, like use shrimp shells. Wow. You can make a broth. So this is the famous Haitian pepper. I'm sure they use it all over the Caribbean. Jamaica uses it as well. Scotch bonnet pepper. You just want to put it in here. That's what we do.
Drop it.
And then now we're gonna add our seafood.
All right.
Do you want to do that?
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, yes. Sous chef, hello. Yes,
so
I'm now
I'm holding
the
this.
sous chef. All right. So just don't. I'm just taking one. All
one
right.
at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, one at a time.
All right. I can't fail this.
And you can put it wherever you want.
The pressure.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Whoa, that's big. Oh my gosh. Do you usually have a sous chef when you're making your amazing feast?
Usually, my wife is my sous chef or my mom.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Because
you're like, nobody else is gonna be my sous chef.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. And of course, in Haitian families, well, at least in my family, we grew up cooking together. So it was always,
Yep.
it's actually a way that we bond. Now that I think of it, whenever I'm with my sisters or with my mom, my dad, even my dad, oh my gosh, my dad cooks well. Like, it's always a bonding experience when we're cooking. All right, here we go.
All right. So now that we have our
Are you
seafood
gonna fire
in
me
there.
as your sous chef now?
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing a good job. So
All right.
we got
So we got some yellow pepper.
we got some yellow pepper. So this is
Amazing.
gonna give you a lot of colors.
Beautiful.
So you can smell.
Wow. Oh my gosh, guys, delicious, divine, incredible.
So
Yeah.
So you want to add a little bit of lemon juice.
Lemon juice, okay. Wow,
So I'm gonna save a little bit for the end,
that looks incredible.
and then
A little
of
bit more
course
wine.
a little bit more wine.
All right, I'm not mad at that. Wow, that beautiful.
And then a little bit more garlic.
Garlic, so delicious. Oh
So,
my goodness.
so what we're gonna do now,
Wow.
we're gonna, now that the rice is cooking,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna add the broth,
Okay.
which is
So
this is the black mushroom. So once you boil the mushroom, it gives you that broth.
So
and we
this
cook
is the
rice
broth
with.
from the
Jonjon, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So you just add the broth.
All right, so here we go. Actually, while you're turning that around, do you want some more coffee?
Sure.
So let's grab our espresso maker here. Yes, like that's how Haitians drink coffee. Y'all listen, it's real. All right,
I'm getting grandma vibes.
grandma vibes. What? As in, like you're. Please don't tell me I'm the one who's being the grandma. Oh.
No, you're not a grandma. Grandma vibes, as in when grandma used to make coffee.
That's awesome.
I'll
take it.
For the whole neighborhood in Haiti.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's really good.
And that's
really
the thing, I think, like, coffee in Haitian communities, it's communal. It's totally communal, right? Let's move this. But as you were saying, like...
Yeah, it's definitely communal, and it's always, the thing I remember growing up was when somebody makes coffee, somebody could be walking from a mile away, they come over, they could have some coffee. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So now that, your rice is looking beautiful.
Wow. This is just...
So your rice looks beautiful.
All the senses right now are just alert and awake.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to I like to add some fresh scallions.
Nice.
And some oregano.
Oh, can I smell it?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, I love fresh herbs. It just brings a whole new...
Like dimension, right?
Yeah,
like
a new dimension.
The food, it's like the layers.
It layers it, yeah.
Like it's essentially like a layering of flavors, yeah?
Essentially what you want to do when you're cooking, yes. When you're cooking, it's, you want to layer, the fat, the salt, the acid. So when somebody has a bite.
There's a book about that.
Yeah. So when somebody has a bite, they're tasting all the elements of the food. Amazing. That's what makes food phenomenal.
Wow.
So now,
good.
Now that the rice is starting to cook, we're gonna add some more of the broth on there.
Oh my goodness.
Because the worst thing you could have is sticky rice, so we just want to monitor the broth.
All right. So not too much.
Not too much.
Just enough. It smells heavenly. Actually.
Thank you.
Wow.
So now.
So I mean, so you've cooked for dignitaries, you've cooked for all different types of individuals in the past. What's the favorite part that you hold in your heart about sharing Haitian culture like this? Like, what do you?
I think working at the White House was cool. I think the greatest thing that I think I've done as far as being able to cook is to cook for the embassy, and then being chosen to be one of the chefs to cook for Haiti's independence. And I think that I hold that dear in my heart because I love Haiti. I love the culture. So I think that that was one of my favorite parts.
That's incredible, Sebastien. I'm so proud of you. That's wonderful.
So
thank you represent Haitian culture very well. I mean, obviously, right?
I love my culture, so.
So good. And I think for me, I mean, having the opportunity to represent the U.S. abroad as a Haitian American is, when I think about gastronomy and I think about, even sharing foods and cultures, so much of it really is at the heart of what we do around the world. Like when we're actually engaging with other cultures, when we're engaging with different types of people, you're sharing a part of your culture, of your home with the world. So
and I think, you know, being born in Haiti and, you know, growing up, you know, as I'm sure that you know, growing up in a struggle, it kind of prepared us for the world stage. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So as this is looking so beautiful, what we're gonna do now, I like to add my tomatoes, just for color. I have, you know, at least I have a whole bunch of colored tomatoes, grape tomatoes.
How colorful all of this is.
So you just add your tomatoes.
Oh my goodness.
You don't want to add the tomatoes too early because if you do, they're just gonna be crushed and people won't be able to see the tomatoes. So you just add your tomatoes, you know, just a little bit everywhere. So now that it's cooking a little bit, you want to put the fire down a little bit.
Beautiful.
And drink a little bit more coffee.
I'm for it.
And then now we're gonna make our lamb.
So goat meat is preferable in Haitian culinary.
Yep. Haitian gastronomy.
Yeah, thank you. In Haitian gastronomy, I'm losing my words. In Haitian gastronomy, so goat meat is preferred.
It's preferred, yeah. Okay. So if you go to a traditional Haitian, you know, your mom or my mom, you make this, they probably won't eat it. But this past weekend, I made this the exact same dish for my mom. She loved it because you make it with the twist.
Spices.
Yeah, the spices, yeah.
That's what it is.
So you want to start out with your
oil.
We've
got our
you want to get your pan.
Herb-infused oil.
You want to get your pan really, really, really hot. So you're going to let your pan get hot. As your pan is getting hot, you know, you can see
amazing.
The rice is starting to cook.
And I can even smell just like the nuances of the spices in the food, you know, as you're cooking it. It's incredible.
Because, you know,
really
it's great that, you know, we're cooking a Spanish dish. One of the things that we have in common with the Latin countries is that we use a lot of spice, which is where that comes from. That in Africa. Yeah,
of course. And we'd be remiss to not mention, of course, the influence that African cuisine has on Haitian cuisine.
Giorgio came from Africa, but currently there is no other countries in Africa that has it but Haiti.
So it's just Haiti that carries this culinary tradition. It's black mushrooms.
Black mushroom is essentially like they call it the Haitian gold. Is really like the truffle is to France. That's what black mushroom is to us.
That's excellent. Okay, so what the truffle is to France, black mushrooms are to Haiti.
Yep.
And we call it black gold in Haiti?
We call it black gold, yep.
Awesome.
It's very expensive because it's really difficult to grow. We're gonna add some butter. You want to add butter?
Because life without butter would be really sad, y'all. Yeah.
Butter is no calories. No calories. Don't fact check that. So we got some oil in our pan. The pan is real hot.
Oh my gosh, it's really hot. I almost want to step back.
So what you want to do is...
All right, I'm going to allow the master chef here to do this.
You want to take your lamb.
Oh, but it smells delicious. Wow.
So...
All right.
So I'm going to add a little bit more oil.
Okay. So there's no like popping up of the flames?
You can stay right here. So what you want to do is essentially when you're cooking, the technique it's a French technique. It's called basting. So you really giving a bath to whatever you're cooking in the oil.
Okay.
So all you're doing is I want to move it back a little bit just so we can have some space. So you just take some oil with a spoon.
Wow.
So you just cooking the top of the meat.
It looks phenomenal.
Because you want the bottom of it to be really like to almost develop a crust.
Okay.
So I'm gonna add some garlic to it. Because I love garlic and life without garlic is miserable.
It's true.
So
All right. Wow, wow. I'm blown away. This is just delicious.
So you don't have to be scared. You can just, you're basing
Right,
it.
no fear, right? No fear. All right, I'm getting closer. As you guys can see, proximity, but wisdom, right? Wisdom to know that I can't manage this the way that you can.
You gotta be wise enough to know that.
Right.
So now you see how beautiful the rice looks.
It's gorgeous.
So you got your. So I like to, when I do it, I like to presentation.
Of course.
Because for me, one of the chefs that mentored me, he told me that being a chef, you're an artist. So I always like to have my food.
It looks divine.
Look really good. The presentation. So want to make sure everything is.
When you think of yourself, obviously being a chef, you're an artist. What is the most? What do you enjoy the most about your profession as a chef?
I just love how I could change. How I could make somebody feel. You can change somebody's mood with your cooking. So as you can see,
you're changing my mood for the better right now. I'm just like
so. So you see that you start developing a crust on the meat. Typically, I'm gonna turn this off.
Okay.
To finish cooking it, and when you're cooking, you never wanna cook it all the way because it's gonna the flavors are not gonna be the same. But typically, cooking for a Caribbean household, they want their meats to be well done, so you also kind of go with that. But what I usually do is I would get let this sit for a second, and then just throw it in the oven. So because it's still hot, it's still gonna continue to cook. So by the time the rice is done, it's gonna be ready to go.
This is beautiful.
So one last thing I'm gonna do.
Okay. Oh yes, my favorite.
I'm gonna add some scallops.
We're gonna get some scallops into this dish. They are just prepared to perfection, y'all. Wow.
So you just add it. Some scallops in the middle.
Incredible.
And usually I have some. I add some lobster to it, but we did have the lobster base.
All right.
Oh, and then you want to add all that goodness, that juice right here from the scallops.
Throw it in. Throw it in.
So you're gonna have so many flavors. You're gonna have so many flavors on that rice.
Delicious.
Wow. And then I'm gonna add some more a little bit more salt and pepper on top.
I want to do like the.
Oh, you want to? Go ahead.
Can I?
Go ahead.
You're gonna allow me to just be slightly crazy.
I'm encouraging your behavior today.
He sure is. I'm for it.
So.
All right. No, this is just phenomenal.
So you just want to add some more green herbs.
Okay.
On top.
It's just the layers, all the layers.
So you just have so much layers, and then to finish it off, I'm gonna put some paprika on top because to really highlight, to really highlight Spain.
Yeah.
So we got some paprika.
And my question to you is, so if somebody living in Haiti is like, oh my goodness, this looks delicious, I want to make this recipe. Can we have it available to them? Is there a way that we could share this recipe?
I mean, of course we can. One of the easy way to make this is, like I told you, you can make the traditional black rice and with the mushroom, with the jonjon, and then add your seafood to it. Okay. A lot of people in Haiti are already doing that. Okay. But if people want the recipe, we can give it to them.
All right. Yeah, all right. So we're going to make it happen with Davila Kafe.
So I'm just going to add a little bit more broth.
Beautiful.
Just a little bit more broth.
Okay.
And then...
And this lamb just smells divine, delicious. You want it at your next dinner party. You do. You want this at your next dinner party. All right, so we've got our plate right here.
So we're gonna plate it. You wanna put it down?
Okay, great.
So what we're gonna do is
we're gonna try
to make it look a little fancy.
A little fancy. All right.
Because I love the art part of this.
Okay, so this is the artistic expression of your work.
So you wanna do your best to make it look aesthetically pleasing. So that my thing is, when I cook, I want to make sure that when somebody sees a plate that it's hard for them to take a first bite, that they don't want to eat it, that it looks so
beautiful.
good. Yep. So now, oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So you want to put it down now?
Okay, here we go.
So now what we're gonna do is, this right here is the best part of the sauce. You can't buy this in the stores.
All right, so this looks interesting. Why is this so important?
Because when you cook the meat in there, all the seasoning, some of the
it's the acid again. What you were saying earlier.
Some of the pieces of the meat are left behind. So the worst thing you want to do is wash this, because you're just throwing flavor away.
And nobody wants to throw flavor away.
Yeah. So what you're gonna
Don't throw flavor away.
That's right. So what you
Pro tip.
So what you do is, I would usually add a little beef base on there.
Okay.
So today we're gonna do. Let's do this.
Okay.
We're gonna make a sauce with the coffee.
Ooh.
So,
so we can do this with coffee? Okay.
So we're gonna make the sauce.
All right. What?
If I would have thought about it earlier, we could have used the coffee as a seasoning. So we could mix it with dry garlic and to use it to coat the lamb, and then we'll cook it.
Okay, guys, I just have to say that was not at all.
Yeah, I literally just thought about this.
This is incredible. All right, well, shall I?
So you want to put a little bit of coffee in there?
This is so cool. All right, how much?
All right, that's good. That's good.
All right.
So you want to?
So we've got our Xavi espresso in the Haitian Paella. It's almost poetic. Oh my gosh, I love it.
So you want to kind of scrape all this goodness on the bottom of it?
Oh, it smells delicious. I feel like I've used that as a qualifier so many times this morning that it's almost unfair to keep saying delicious, delicious.
So I got some scallions in there.
Wow.
And some.
This is just incredible.
Some fresh thyme.
Some fresh thyme. All right. Herbs. Got to layer up the herbs.
Some fresh thyme.
So the coffee in this
is... Yes.
I mean,
it's a game changer.
Wow.
So a little bit of paprika. I love paprika.
So good.
And some garlic.
Okay.
So now you wanna stir. If you wanna add just a little bit more coffee.
I'm in, y'all. All right.
All right, go ahead. All right, that's good. That's good.
All right, okay.
So you wanna let it cook. Cook in there a little bit so it could get all the flavors.
Okay. Nice.
So as that going, we have our beautiful lamb right here.
All right, so we're just gonna allow that to cook.
Mm-hmm. So you let it
simmer a little bit.
You let it simmer. So you want to reduce it. You want to reduce it because when it's reduced, that's when you get all those flavors in there.
Wow. So, it smells just.
So this is gonna be the first time you have a coffee sauce, right?
I've never had coffee sauce.
So we got.
All right. Perks of having a friend who is legit. All right. Yeah. Executive chef, incredible. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So
delicious. I haven't even tasted this yet, but I'm like, ah.
So the butter is gonna bring everything together.
And butter, because life is better with butter.
There you go. And then one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add just a little bit of wine. Just a little bit of wine.
Incredible! Wow, the flavors. This is quite the feast.
So you want to reduce it with the butter.
Okay.
As you can see, the sauce is starting to get a little bit thicker
and
richer.
It's thickening.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So now what you want to do is you want to take your spoon.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Certainly.
So you want to take your spoon.
Uh-huh.
You want to take the sauce.
Okay. Oh, wow. Let me hold this for you, actually. I can help. Here we go. Wow, that's just incredible. I need to look up more adjectives to explain.
So you wanna add some, like I said, it's a piece of artwork for me, so I always like to make it aesthetically pleasing. So when somebody sees it, it's really difficult for them to take a first bite.
You gotta make it like a painful first bite, right? It's like, oh, I don't really want to eat this, but it's amazing.
So they can tell their families. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to add some edible flour on there.
Ooh,
and take
it looks
it to
so
the next
pretty.
level. And I'm gonna add a little bit more sauce just to make.
So we've got our Xavi espresso sauce for the lamb.
Lamb infused with Xavi espresso.
I am just blown away. This is phenomenal.
So there you go.
Wow, this is quite the treat, for sure.
So
All right,
now
so
that
we've
we're
got
done
that.
with this, now we're gonna finish with our rice. Gonna move it right here, and then we're gonna do the same thing.
All right.
We're gonna
So
add-
we've got here before us a Haitian paella. It is beautiful.
So you essentially touching a lot of
I'm gonna help a little.
historical parts, because you have the Spain that colonized Haiti for a little bit, which is why we have the Dominican Republic.
Right, of course.
And then you're touching French cooking techniques, Spanish cooking techniques.
Yeah.
So we're covering a little bit, which is why I love being Haitian, because our history and culture covers a little bit of all the continents.
Right. Like
So-
even with the the hard parts of history, when you look at what Haitian culture is, really the beauty of it, the breadth,
That's
the
right.
depth of it, it's just really inspiring. It's always been inspiring for me personally, for sure. And I love that you mentioned even French gastronomy, because oftentimes when people think of delicious food, that's often what most individuals think of. And I love that you're presenting Haitian gastronomy in such a beautiful way. That there's so much culture infused in this, that there's so much beauty and art in it.
I think one of the things that people people don't really grasp is that our culture, being Haitian, our culture is not that old. Whereas the French, they've been around for thousands of years. We're only 200 and something years old.
Yeah.
Where our food is so impactful and it's touching so many different
It is.
areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of these cultures that we're talking about, the Spaniards, they've been around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
The Italians, Haitians we're the new kids on the block.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Scrappy, young, but we've got heart.
yeah, we got heart. So you want to add,
Love
like I
it.
said, you want to make an artwork. So and this is what we got.
This is just beautiful. I mean, it is truly a piece of art. And I love that we were able to infuse parts of this with coffee. It's just really beautiful. Bravo to the chef. Merci.
Thank you for having me.
Wow.
I'm grateful. I'm happy.
Well, we too are so grateful. We hope that all of you watching from home, that you tune in, follow along. It's just really been incredible to do this with you, for sure. And thank you for representing Haitian culture so well, and bringing art to the world, because this is art. All right, guys. Cheers.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Remember to stay fueled. All right, so let's go ahead and we can plate some of this to enjoy.